Good evening and welcome to CityCast. This is Rishabh Rai.
And this is Arshi Agarwal. Here are the headlines for today. We start with the recent controversies in Karnataka, and here's what the Congress party has to say on it.
He is just conspiring against all the sections of the. He is just creating communal violence in the state. Now we condemn those institutions, condemn those outfits. Already they have been rejected, they have been banned. Now we will not allow such type of institution to enter our country. Our country have its own pride. Our secular outfit, we don't want anyone to interfere with that.
Moving forward, we look at the halal meat controversy in Karnataka. Our reporter Vinaya talks to meat sellers in the city and tells us how they fare.
Meat sellers in the city says that the recent halal controversy has not affected their business so far.
Customers are asking before purchasing, it's halal or haram. They want halal. If I tell haram means straight away they will go. 25% are they asking jhatka.
Despite their business being unaffected, many sellers are upset about the controversy.
बीजेपी का उसका प्रॉब्लम होना नहीं, हमें बचपन से कर ले करा, हमें इंदिरा गांधी के ज़माने से काम कर ले करा, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, वो नो अफवाह उठा ले तो हमारे में क्या भी प्रॉब्लम.
With Ramzan starting, customers are also concerned.
बेसिकली जो हलाल होता है हम लोग में हलाली खाना चाहिए. ये लोग अगर झटका भी नहीं रखेंगे और हलाल भी नहीं रखेंगे, सीधा दूसरा कुछ अगर रख दें तो मतलब हम लोग नहीं खा पाएंगे. तो हमको बहुत इफेक्ट करेगा क्योंकि ज्यादातर फेस्टिवल में हम लोग ज्यादातर मीट ही खाते हैं.
However, the right-wing groups deny allegations of discrimination against Muslims.
There is no issue between the halal or non-halal. We never oppose any halal and formal. Party stand is very clear. We are not discriminate in the form of any this.
Halal meat controversy is the recent addition to the communal tensions in the state. This is Vinaya reporting for CityCast from Bengaluru.
Places of worship continue to use loudspeaker despite the Bangalore police's warning of confiscation. Our reporter Rakshita Kumar tells us why. Masjids and temples continue to recite their prayers on loudspeakers even after the High Court ordered prohibition. This highlights serious effect of noise pollution on health of the people living in nearby.
डेली का यही समय रहता है हमारा, फिर 5 मिनट आगे पीछे होता है. अब वो तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में मसला चल रहा है, जैसे सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला होगा उस पे हम उसका फॉलो करेंगे.
The police has been ordered to inspect the religious places and confiscate loudspeakers if masjids and temples continue to recite their prayers on them. The police on patrol told our reporters that they were to report to their headquarters if they witnessed violation at these religious places.
ಇಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಹೊತ್ತು ಮಾಡ್ರೆ 5ರಿಂದ 6 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲೇ ಕೇಳ್ದಲ್ಲ ಆ ತರ ಇದು ಅಭಿಷೇಕ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಈಗ ಅದು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, 2 ತಿಂಗಳಾಗೋಯ್ತು.
The right-wing groups demand a ban on the use of speakers.
Loudspeaker, they are going for the azan. The Supreme Court and the High Court of the Karnataka is categorically mentioned, and they have specified some of the rules. It should not be crossed by the 75 decibel of the sounds.
Yeah.
Okay. But now some of the Muslims, they are getting more than 200 decibel.
Maulvis and Pandits have said that till they get a confirmed verdict, they will not stop using loudspeakers. This is Rakshita Kumar reporting for CityCast.
Delhi court orders CBI to revoke lookout circulars issued against Akar Patel. Team CityCast brings you more on this.
A Delhi court directs CBI to withdraw lookout circular issued against Akar Patel immediately. Patel was barred from boarding a flight to United States yesterday at the Kempegowda International Airport. Patel is currently being prosecuted due to the complaint by a BJP MLA. However, the court allowed his travel.
Let us take a break now. On the other side, we see what measures the state is taking in order to curb child marriages. Welcome back. the Women and Child Development Department plans to merge helplines to prevent underage marriages. Our reporter Rishika Kashyap tells us why.
Data from the National Crime Records Bureau shows Karnataka has reported the highest number of underage marriages among all states in 2022. The Women and Child Development Department says it aims to bring this down by 2024.
ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಇಳಿದು ಈ ಒಂದು ಪಿಡುಗಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯವನ್ನು ಕಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವ ಈ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಯನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ರೂಟಿಂದನೇ ಬೇರಿಂದನೇ ತೆಗೆದು ಬಿಸಾಕೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು
The department, in collaboration with Karnataka Child Rights Observatory, says the first thing they'll do is to make reporting such marriages easier by making the helplines work better. They aim to sensitize ministers on child rights issues.
ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸಹ ಇವತ್ತು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವಿಚಾರಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ NGOಗಳೇನಿದೆಯೋ ಸಂಘಟನೆಗಳೇನಿದೆಯೋ ಅಂತಹ ಸಂಘಟನೆಗಳವರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತ ಕಾಯ್ದೆಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ.
NCRB shows that Bangalore reported 9 cases of underage marriages. Experts say there's an urgent need to act. This is Rishika Kashyap reporting for CityCast, Bangalore.
On World Health Day, public health and child rights advocates demand vendor licensing for tobacco sellers. Our reporter Snehi Shah brings us more on this.
The Consortium for Tobacco-Free Karnataka, Indian Medical Association and Association of Private Schools want vendor licensing for tobacco products introduced in Karnataka.
It is our view that this vendor licensing will play a greater role in restricting access. 99% of adult smokers have started in the teens. 10 lakh people are dying. Every day 5,500 children are initiated to tobacco use. Every day.
He adds that Karnataka was the first state to initiate vendor licensing in 2013. It has been more than a year since any official word from the government. Despite laws, there are still shops that sell tobacco products within 100 meters of schools.
The police are aware of it, and even school administration is also aware of it. Many times they plead their inevitability, and they are not able to intervene because many of these vendors are quite influential and they have backing of the people or authorities, and therefore they are afraid.
A survey by NSSO says that 20 million children between the ages of 10 and 14 are addicted to tobacco in India. 2 million users are added to this figure annually.
वो लोग आते हैं क्या खरीदने को?
The consortium urges people to treat tobacco addiction within children as a serious problem and hopes that the government will soon pass a law for vendor licensing. This is Snehisha reporting for CityCast.
Congress announces nationwide protest following the fuel hike in India. Our reporter Shubhangi Mishra brings us more on the story.
As a part of the exercise by the AICC to break on Modi government on price rise and inflation. As you may be very well aware that the AICC, the Congress party, has launched nationwide agitation against the Modi government.
The Congress leaders are deputed to educate the voters about how prices are rising and how the Modi government alone is responsible for the hike. A Jamaican also says that ban on loudspeakers, halal issue are being used to avoid any direct confrontation on matters of real importance.
This is Shubhangi Mishra reporting for CityCast Bangalore.
Police arrest 2 men and recover 2 crore rupees. Our reporter Aditya Pandey brings us more on this.
The 2 men have been arrested under Section 380 and 457 of Indian Penal Code. The accused and his friend stole from the house of an architect in Kumaraswamy layout.
So here in this case, on 28th night and 29th morning. 29th 11 o'clock, one complaint came to police station. So we called fingerprint and dog squad and we recovered that amount in this spot. What they are distributed each other.
Police also says that they have produced the accused to the magistrate and taken them into the police custody. This is Aditya Pandey reporting for CityCast.
Here we take a break. On the other side, we see how citizens of Sri Lanka are protesting against the government amid financial crisis. Welcome back. Moving on to international news, we bring you a story on the protest going on in Sri Lanka over economic crisis, which is demanding the resignation of the government. Our reporter Shreyashi Mukherjee brings us more on the story.
The current economic crisis has led to a shortage in food, electricity, and other necessities. Hospitals are also struggling to perform emergency operations. This is what has led to the protest.
Majority of our people elected members of parliament are more than 60 years old. So yeah, the crowds are requesting more young blood in our parliament.
Since most of the population are daily wage earners, they are struggling to survive due to the rapid price hike.
So most Sri Lankans live on a daily wage basis. At least the majority of the country, the farmers, the fishermen, the garbage collectors, they live off of what they earn on one particular day. And when they can't afford to do that, it's a big question, how are they supposed to survive in this country?
India has extended a line of credit and also signed several agreements to provide financial help. Experts believe that the ongoing crisis is a result of the government's wrong decisions. The ban on export of fertilizers also upset the agricultural economy.
The Lankan economy depends on tourism, and so there was a massive setback. So foreign exchange reserves fell. Sri Lanka is a country which depends on essential commodities from abroad. When the revenue is not getting generated and when exports are not doing well, so that is why you suddenly have a massive shortage.
The president has refused to resign under any circumstances. However, the citizens will continue their protests until their demands are met. This is Shreyashi Mukherjee reporting for CityCast.
In addition to the protest, the country's tourism industry is also affected by the crisis. Our reporter Vinaya brings us more on the story.
We need the guests to come into the Sri Lanka. That's the only way we can come out from this.
While experts stress on the importance of the tourism industry in Sri Lanka, travel agents say that the anti-government protest and the fuel food shortages in the country make tourists skeptical about going there.
Yeah, before it was there. Last month we had a group. In the month of March, 22nd they went and 27th they came back. No one is doing now for sightseeing. Enquiries are coming, but before only being a travel agency, we had to inform them, no?
After the pandemic, Sri Lanka saw a major surge in the number of tourists. The Sri Lankan government says it is making sure the country is still safe for tourists.
The tourist board, we are giving these special the passes to fill fuel. And we're giving some special permit from the DMC, the transport, the travel operators and everything. We're just giving some facilities from our ministry. Today we just started new sessions too. We're giving the token. They can fill it from the depot, from government places. They can fill it. Even we have the curfew all around the places. We told all the tourist attractions, Sigiriya National Park, every place is open for tourists.
Government officials still believe that reviving tourism can truly help Sri Lanka get through this crisis. This is Vinaya reporting for CityCast.
Moving on to business news, we talk about how early summer is lifting the alcohol industry spirit as citizens grab their favorite beer. Our reporter Shubham Chauhan tells us more.
Data from the State Excise Department shows a 13% increase in beer consumption in 2021-2022 compared to the previous year. Brewers say the business has crossed pre-pandemic levels.
This summer is really been well for us actually. Our business is increased more than 20% if you compare to last term. For that also, if I compare 2 years back and now, 20% now the sale has been doubled actually. So we are doing 40%. I was doing 3,000 liters per month and it has been doubled, 6,000 liters.
Bangalore, the pub capital of the country, has more than 60 microbreweries. While craft beer is a crowd favorite, other branded beers are also not far behind. Consumers say they prefer to have the drink at home.
I oftenly drink beer during the summers. Bira White is one of the first preference. With this early summer, I sometimes feel very good and would like to go out with my friends. But I generally like to have a chilled beer at home.
The Karnataka Excise Department achieved 106% of its revenue target. 237.82 lakh carton boxes were sold in 2021, whereas 268.83 lakh carton boxes of alcohol were sold in 2021-2022. Experts predict that the upcoming year is going to be one of the best for the beer industry.
See, the way the trends are, I think we are looking at one of the best seasons for the beer industry. The early summer is helping a lot. There is a pent-up demand in the pipelines also. The one additional downside which happened was that the pandemic hit right in the beginning of the peak beer season. Normally, the beer sales are almost 40% of the annual sales.
With the Russia-Ukraine crisis, experts also believe that there could be a supply chain disruption and a fluctuation in the price of barley, which is a key ingredient in making beer. This is Shubham Chauhan reporting for CityCast.
Hike in fuel prices is affecting delivery partners in Bangalore. Our reporter Apeksha Priya talks to them and finds out more.
With fuel price hike for the 14th time in the last 10 days, many delivery boys say that the hike is costing them dearly. To deal with this hike, partners are spending out of their pockets.
स्टार्टिंग जब मैं भर रहा था ना पेट्रोल तब मैं 150 रुपीज़ अब मैं 100 रुपीज़ एक्स्ट्रा भरना पड़ता है। इस वजह से थोड़ा दिक्कत तो आ रही है। इतना पैसा तो मुझे 3000 रुपीज़ सेव होता था, अभी एक्स्ट्रा पे करना पड़ा।
जब से भी जा रहा है,
कभी जा रहा है,
रोजाना नहीं है, कभी जा रहा है।
Economists say that external factors like Russia-Ukraine conflict are triggering the hike in the price of fuel.
When it passes on to the consumers, the major problem is all other sectors,
Yeah.
Inflation will increase. Everything has already increased. Public transport system, if at all, if it is adequate and if it is on time, then probably many of them would have switched even otherwise also.
Companies are helping their partners right now, but for how long can they be sustained? This is Apeksha Priya reporting for the CityCast.
After a gap of 2 years, Bangalore gears up to celebrate the Karga festival at Dharmaraya Swami Temple. Our reporter Arunima Bharadwaj brings us the story.
After a gap of 2 years, Bangalore gears up to celebrate the Karga festival at Dharmaraya Swami Temple. Vishwanath, Chief Engineer BBMP, says that over 2 lakh devotees are expected to attend.
Bearer of that Devi Karga, he walks barefoot. ರೂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕಲ್ಲಾಗಲಿ ಮಣ್ಣಾಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಮುಳ್ಳಾಗಲಿ ಸಣ್ಣ ಕಲ್ಲು ಚುಚ್ಚುತ್ತೆ ಕಾಲಿಗೆ ಏನೂ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಜನ ಸುತ್ತ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ.
The business for these vendors has also seen a boon after the resumption of Karga festival.
ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಫುಲ್ ಇದ್ರಲ್ವಾ, ಫುಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಇದ್ರಲ್ವಾ, ಬೇಕಲ್ಲೇ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇವಾಗ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ಏನು ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು.
The festival is celebrated each year to mark the return of Draupadi in the form of Adi Shakti. It is celebrated for 11 days starting from 8th of April. The last day ends on a full moonlight day with a grand procession. Every year during the festival, the designated priest gets dressed in a female attire and carries a pot on his head filled with rice. This year, the procession will be headed by Gyanendra.
ಕಬ್ಬನ್ಪೇಟೆ ಆಗಿದೆ, ರಾಜ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, KR ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟು, ಗಣೇಶ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ, ಆಂಜನೇಯ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ, ಕಾಟನ್ಪೇಟೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ದರ್ಗಾ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಣ್ಣಮ್ಮ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕುಂಬಾರಪೇಟೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ತಿಗಳಪೇಟೆ, ಈ ಥರ ಬಂದು ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಸೇರ್ತಾರೆ.
The preparations for the Karga festival is going on with full enthusiasm and people are excited to witness the festival after 2 years. This is Arunima Bharadwaj reporting for CityCast, Bangalore.
That is all for today. Thank you for watching.
For more information, log on to our website citycast.in.